Well, thanks for joining us, Remy. Always good to have a chat with you. What are some of your greatest memories from Phillip Island and the Australian Grand Prix?
Well, it was my only point scoring race back in Moto3 in 2015, I think. Yeah, 2015. So that was it was pretty exciting. The only race I scored points, so it was nice to do that at home. Yeah, I mean, also I've had some decent results there in Moto2. Not quite a podium yet, nearly getting close, but hopefully, well, I don't know about this year, but hopefully this year we can get to racing there, and and we can show our stuff there.
It's a different race from a flyway point of view, but how does the Australian Grand Prix at Phillip Island compare to other races for you? I know, like from the travel point of view, but also pressure. Is there extra pressure that comes on with a race like that?
I mean, the Australian Grand Prix is awesome. It's my favourite race. Not for just, being at home, but of course being at home, but it's such a cool place to be down on Phillip Island. Get to go surfing the week before, and yeah, it's just nice to be home and eat the food that I grew up on.
Yep.
I mean, obviously there's a little bit more pressure being at home, but it kind of turns into motivation. Hearing all the fans cheering for you and all that, it's turns into motivation. You just want to push that extra little bit harder. So also the track is completely different to all the other tracks, and it's really a ballsy track. You got to tighten the butthole on a few corners, let's say.
What are the fans like when you turn up down under? Is it a different experience to the rest of the world?
For sure. I mean, it's completely different. It's great. You can just hear the emotion in the fans, and you can hear the support, and like I said before, the motivation that gives you is something different, and you always feel a bit special when you rock up to Phillip Island and having your home race. It's undescribable, the feeling and the magic it gives you.
Just going off subject a little bit now, Remy. We know that you like to work on old cars, and I've got a similar interest, so I like to follow what you're doing. But what are you working on in the garage at the moment?
It's a Volvo Amazon from 1969, and yeah, I mean, I bought it for I've been 19 years old, something like that, 19, 20.
Yeah, well.
It was my first car, and it was full of rust and had just the standard engine in it, and I drove that around for a year and kind of got bored of not going fast enough. So I thought, all right, let's see what we can do. So I ripped all the original running gear out of it. Everything's out. And basically put a Mitsubishi Eclipse, so it's the 4G63 Evo block engine in it. Yep. And yeah, just been trying to swap that in, and it hasn't been easy because it's a transverse engine normally. So, yes. And this is longitudinal. And yeah, just been working on that. It's getting quite close to start up, bit by bit. It's been a year and a half since I started, and getting there.
Good. No, it's interesting to watch. I enjoy it too. So going back to motorbikes quickly, you've spoken that your goal, and like most riders, mine was as well, is to get into MotoGP. What's the next step? How do you achieve this from where you are now? Is it realistic to get in there in 2021?
I think if all this situation hadn't gone down, it would have been much more realistic. I'd still want to aim to get there for next year. I still think that's, kind of where I picture myself. But I understand the situation has changed, not just for me, but for everyone, sure. Which can complicate things. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we can get back racing in July, and, can start showing some potential again, and we'll see what we can do. But, yeah, obviously it's a dream of everyone's, I guess. But, yeah, we'll have to see. Things are a little bit more complicated at the moment with the virus, but yeah, we'll see. There's still possibilities.
There was a bit of talk around last year that KTM were interested in you in replacing when Zarco moved out, and there was that possibility of a rider coming in. I know you didn't take the ride, and I respect that decision, but do you think you made the right decision to stay in Moto2 and progress your career?
Yeah, I mean, if I knew this was going to happen, maybe I would have taken the jump. But yeah, I mean, under normal circumstances, yeah, I was happy with my decision. I think, you know, the race that I had in Qatar, you know, it showed quite a positive step forward. I worked really hard throughout the winter on myself and my training and things like that. And I think it really showed in preseason testing in Qatar. It's a shame that we couldn't, you know, do any more races so far. But yeah, I feel like it was the right decision. Hopefully we can have a few more races this year and see if that training really paid off. And I guess I got to start winter training 2.0 all over again. But yeah, we'll see.
I mean, from riders coming through from Moto2, we've seen, well, Alex Marquez is in there now, and Brad Binder, Iker Lecuona, etc. But riders like Fabio Quartararo, there's been a lot of Moto2 riders that you've beaten or shown that you can race with consistently, and they're fast on a MotoGP bike. That must give you confidence for the future.
For sure, that's kind of, you know, what I'm looking at the moment. Especially for my size and riding style, I think it's much more suited to a MotoGP bike. But yeah, there are a few guys in MotoGP right now doing a pretty good job. Fabio have a really good job that I have beaten before on many occasions. And even with the Tech 3 bike, I think I managed to beat Fabio a few times. So
yeah,
you know,
I know
it gives me a boost of confidence. So yeah, hopefully the MotoGP team managers can look at it that way as well.
Well, fingers crossed for you, mate. Just a couple of quick fire questions we've got now. First one might be easy for you to answer, maybe not. Can you tell us something about your dad, Wayne, that we don't know?
Yeah, all right. He's terrified of heights. Terrified. That's a good one.
We'll keep that in mind for the next PR thing we need doing. So
Get
him up in a chopper or something.
Exactly. He hates choppers, I think, as well. So yeah, if you want to scare him, do something with heights. He does not like it.
Love it. I think I'm going to know, or most of us are going to know the answer to this, but how did you start motorcycling and who inspired you?
Well, I started just riding with about 4 years old, 3 or 4. I just saw a bike outside on the road and I was like, I want that bike. And my dad's like, nah. And I kept begging. And I think for my 4th birthday, I got a little CRF 50. And yeah, I started riding that around our farm. And just rode around my farm with my dad and my brother until about 8 years old. And then I said to Dad, I want to start racing. I want to race. And he's like, no, you're not racing. It's too dangerous, too hard, too difficult. And in the end, I just kept pushing. And he let me do a little CRF 50 race in the Wollongong Supercross. It was like the support event, you know. Yep. And we did that, and he let me do that, and I won the race. And yeah, it was like he couldn't say no from then. So yeah, here we are now. Exactly.
Last one about motorbikes. What is your dream motorcycle? If you could have anything in the world.
A MotoGP bike.
Yeah, none in particular. You ride any of them?
Oh, a Yamaha.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. I can see where they're coming from. They look like they're nice to ride. So.
They do.
All right. Well, no, always great to hear from you, Remy. Thanks very much for your time. And like I said, fingers crossed, we're going to get an Australian Grand Prix soon. But if not, we're going to be cheering you on, all Aussies here for the rest of the season that you've got.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And yeah, it's good catching up, Chris.